Afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for watching the recording. We are pushing some really important information to teachers in our face-to-face PD this afternoon, and we are so sorry that you couldn't be with us. We've missed you being in session with us, but we really wanted to make sure that we provided this information to you sort of in real time if we could, as the other teachers are receiving it. So this information is exciting. I'm happy to introduce to you ARVA's new Opportunity Growth Model. This is a model that is going to allow our teachers, our instructional staff, our academic support staff to really have an opportunity to grow in their craft and also to highly impact student outcomes. This model is a result of recent decisions by the state to sort of peel back some of the requirements of tests and not be quite so stringent, but to say to districts, um, here's requirement A and B, which are much more minimal than they have been in the past. You decide as a district how you're going to structure your teacher growth opportunities. And so we take that very seriously. We want to make sure that we support you all and that we provide opportunity for you to improve. And that is the absolute and total goal of the opportunity growth model. So we're excited about it. There will be much more detailed information coming even after today's informational push. So it's something that you'll definitely be hearing about more and more in the coming days. But also as part of our test training and more upcoming information will come about the changes there as well. So what is this thing? Opportunity growth model sounds almost presumptuous and a little bit complicated, but it's actually very simple. It's a very simple growth model where during summative evaluations, there will be that annual meeting that has been true of tests all along. We will continue to hold those, summative evaluations, but within those meetings, we will begin to designate a level for you that corresponds to a growth plan that you will follow in the coming year. So these levels will be determined by administrative committee, looking at an entire body of evidence, not only looking just at tests as it's been in the past, but also lots of other evidence that we can collect, and we'll give you some detailed examples and provide you in exact detail in rubric form what's going to go into those levels as this recording continues, but then also in the coming days as we push some of that documentation to you. So what do these levels look like? Well, level 1 is our exemplary level. This is a level that is for our consistent high performers. This is a teacher that embraces the goals, culture, and excellence for which ARVA strives. And these are the teachers and the instructional staff, support staff that are really setting the bar. This is what we're striving for day in and day out. So this growth plan, if this summative level was received in the spring, then in the following year, a level 1 instructor would follow this plan. They would receive a quarterly walkthrough from administration. They would attend a monthly principals meeting where the principal can really lean into these teaching leaders and really help to sort of pull together, the impact of these exemplary folks into our schools. Still continuing with the bi-monthly instructional coaching, we feel it's important. Listen, this exemplary level is doing a lot of great stuff, but the goal here is that we can always improve. There's no place to rest when it comes to educating students. So we always want to be on the lookout for ways that we can better ourselves. And then also further leadership skill building and opportunities. These are opportunities that might come up for teachers to step up, such as things as mentoring or maybe department chairs or leading a specific school team in particular activities. So those sorts of opportunities would be housed out of this specific level. Then level 2 is our proficient level. There's a lot of potential for high performance here, but maybe there's a couple areas that just lack some consistency, and we want to build that. So this plan is going to, you'll see very much the same, have a monthly walkthrough from administration. They're still going to receive that bi-monthly instructional coaching, but some of the observation and reflection pieces are different here in that we have a quarterly peer observation where you'll be able to observe one of your peers and one of your peers will be able to observe you and provide some peer feedback. Then also there'll be a submission of a quarterly self-reflection where you would take some time to watch your own recording and complete a self-reflection on that, looking for areas for potential improvement and certainly for for growth that has been experienced that we can celebrate. And then for level 3, these are our progressing folks. Maybe we're stuck in some old patterns. Maybe there's some expectations that we're just not quite getting to where professionalism is concerned or where growth might be concerned. So this plan steps it up just a little bit. We're going to do a bi-monthly walkthrough from administration, really have some opportunity to get some frequent feedback about instruction, providing resources, those sorts of things. Continuing with that bi-monthly instructional coaching, and then a bi-monthly meeting with either a lead or principal, depending on the structure of your particular building level. And with this bi-monthly meeting, not only do we really want to focus on instruction and goals for improvement, but also just building a really strong relationship between that administrator and this particular staff member so that we can open those communication lines and really identify any issues that are causing struggles or that we can possibly provide assistance with. You'll see a bi-quarterly peer observation. So this is just stepping out that peer observation piece a little bit further, and then bi-quarterly self-reflection also. So again, these pieces just to get another layer of feedback as we work to really grow and hone that instructional craft. Then we also have a level 4, which is a novice level for all new staff. Now, these teachers would not be placed here as a summative level, but rather a beginning level so that we can provide them the support that is needed. We all know that starting off in this environment can be tricky, and so we felt that this extra sort of circle of assistance would really be helpful. So with this, you'll see the exact same growth plan that you see in the level 3. Again, with the work with the administrator, the instructional coaching, really honing in on a good relationship with that leader principal, and then the bi-quarterly observation and self-reflection. So as we determine these levels and we work for committee review, what kinds of things are we going to be looking at? These are certainly not exhaustive lists, but examples. For a general classroom teacher, for example, we might look at these pieces. So we would definitely still be leveraging our state observation system and tests. We'll be looking at student summative assessment data. You know, what kind of student growth data do we see? How are students making gains? Walk-through documents from those specific observations, instructional coach data. Now, they're not giving us data about what's happening in those instructional coach sessions or even any of the observations or ratings that they complete, but they will communicate with us about whether you're actively engaged in that process, what the attendance is, and then also we will allow the instructional coaches to see the IC data, or rather let the instructional coaches to see the summative data and get their feedback if there's anything that they see that it doesn't align correctly. We'll be looking at evidence of professionalism, documented compliance or non-compliance with certified personnel policies. These are things like email response time, taking care of families, following policy about all the different many things that you all have to be responsible for. And then data-driven instruction components. We are going to be looking at that, the Big Teacher Workbook, the DDI, meeting attendance. How are those instructional level predictors looking and turning out as far as some of those submissions, those relate pieces. So we'll be keeping an eye as well on some of the data pieces there. Now it looks a little bit different, probably for a special education teacher, let's say. This particular sort of an instructor, excuse me, is going to have some compliancy indicators as well. So you'll see at the bottom that most of these pieces look very much the same. However, you'll see this bottom bullet has pulled in compliancy indicators. So these are things special education teachers like pulling in a rubric from the special programs manager that really looks at your IEP writing, your documentation, compliancy with your file upkeep and your caseload. So lots of different things there that will be pulled in for you as well in considering the intricacies of your particular role. So while we're not going to take a lot of time in this recording to go through every single individual role that might be present and listening to the recording, or certainly we are not going to do the same in the live PD for every single role that's present in the room. But these data points will be spelled out for you in a more thorough way as in the coming days, as your principals will share the list of data points, the potential list, and it might change and develop as you all do great things and we get to see those great things. So determining the tiers, there's a rubric and data point example for each of these positions. See in front of you is a screenshot of the rubric, but I'm going to pull one up for you so that we can look at it a little bit more in detail. So these rubrics, you'll notice this one is specifically for a general education teacher. There are rubrics that exist for our counselors, our advisors, our ECs, our special education teachers, our data coordinators, our district testing coordinator, our RTI coordinator. The list goes on and on and on. If you are within the sound of my voice, there is a rubric for your specific role. So each of these are broken into what you can see is the exemplary, proficient, progressing, and novice. And then each of these also have indicators. So for the general education teacher, you'll see the indicators of the test observation data, the student assessment growth data, the professionalism indicators, and then the data-driven instruction, which if you recall that data list we just looked at, the data point list, most of those things fall into this category, these categories right here. So this will be the rubric that guides even those quarterly reviews. So you'll see that there's feedback and goals. There's also on-track tiers or levels. What level are you on track for? So if you are level 2 for this school year and you meet with your principal in quarter 1 review, they may say that you are on track to be level 1 by the end of the year. So you'll get that sort of feedback at each quarter mark. And then also any documentation that was cited within that quarter review so that you'll know what areas were your strengths. If there were areas that were your weaknesses, then you'll be able to identify those as well. So these rubrics will be sent out in the coming week, and you'll be able to take a deeper look at those and start to ask any questions that you may have. We can also, we'll also make available for you, the opportunity to give any feedback that you might have to really just define. What we want is a very clear understanding of what's expected, so we are all on the same page as we move forward. And perhaps one of the most exciting pieces of the opportunity growth model is the bonus compensation piece. And so we have traditionally provided bonus based on an even distribution. And it is our goal and certainly our honor to be able to really provide some grounding and some merit for those teachers who are going above and beyond. And it seems reasonable with our levels that we would be able to do just that through the bonus compensation. So with the levels for our instructional and student staff support, our administrative support, if that summative score is a level 1 or tier 1, you can expect a bonus compensation between $2,000 and $3,500. Tier 2 is our leveler. So tier 2 will be $1,200 bonus. And then tier 3, um, any additional monies there will be focused on continued professional development for these individuals to really help bring them up to that tier two opportunity. So we've run the model on this, and we can sustain this up to a pretty large number of tier 1 or level 1 teachers. And so that's what we would love to do. We would love to get as many of you all in that level 1 as we can. And the administrative team is here to help and to help support you in that venture. The reason that level 1 has a range is because that will range based on how many teachers are in level 2 and how many are in level 1. So that slide allows the system to work. So if you have questions about this, I would say your first point of contact would be to reach out to your building level principal. You can certainly reach out to me, and I'd be happy to discuss this with you at any time. It's a little bit trickier to give you the information and this great news through video, but we definitely wanted you to have it in hand. I look forward to talking with you about it, and I look forward to watching you grow. Thanks so much.